Oh, sorry. Hey, Ronnie.
Hey.
Stinky.
Woo. Hey, you.
Ah. You know what it's time for? I think the people want it, and I think the people should get it, Ronnie.
They deserve this.
It's time for the Fart Show, episode 3, Fart 3. It's next on the next Men Are So Smart.
My eyes are watering.
We asked a bunch of scientists to explain, because obviously they had nothing better to do, why some of your farts smell so much worse than others.
I think they smell great, honestly. Mine.
I think it's time we get to the bottom of this, if you'll pardon the expression, much like the colors of the rainbow, of flavors, sparkling water. There's an incredibly wide range of farts you can have. Sometimes a fart can be noisy. I like those. But otherwise, relatively inoffensive. Other times, they can be silent. But the smell could probably kill an elephant.
Well, as it turns out, like most other things in life, not all farts are created equal.
Thank God.
While some contain odor compounds that make them smell less than pleasant, there are certain factors such as foods you eat or how much booze you drink that could make them extra foul.
So what exactly makes one fart smell worse than another? We asked health experts to answer the one question that we know is keeping all of you up at night. Why farts smell in the first place?
They don't even have a nose. How is it possible? Yeah. Well, first things first, passing gas is completely normal. So I'm extremely normal. And everyone does it every single day, although my wife would tell you she doesn't. Yeah. In fact, most of us will fart around 15 times a day. I'd like to bump that number up a little bit. I'm shooting for a personal best of about 30.
I'm just saying, I'm all in. All right. Basically, farts are the result of gas that gets built up in the digestive tract. After eating, the bacteria in your gut gets to work on breaking the food down into nutrients. This process doesn't always produce a sickening stench, but the gases produced from most foods are actually odorless. But certain foods result in the formation of sulfur-containing gases, like hydrogen sulfide and ammonia. So when it builds up in your colon and eventually gets released by a fart, the result can be a rotten egg-like odor.
Yeah, so Adam does that sound the best, by the way. There's a shout out to A&C Marine right there. What foods make some of your farts smell worse than others?
Yes, well, we're about to tell you.
Yes. Vegetables, onions, eggs, meat, of course. Beans are the most common culprits. Gastroenterologists with the GA of North Mississippi polishing off a meal that's extra high on those noxious, sulfur-rich compounds like a bean and veggie burrito is a sure path to Stinktown.
You know, I've never told you this before, but I happen to be the mayor of Stinktown. Foods made with sugar substitutes like xylitol or sorbitol, such as sugarless gum, ice cream, or cookies, also tend to pose a problem. Your digestive tract can't break these sweeteners down, so they hang around in your gut for longer and they ferment, which can result in...
Alcohol can also play a role. Wine contains sulfur, which is why your farts might reek after a night at the bar, explains Samantha Nazareth, a gastroenterologist practicing in New York City. Beer farts, we've all had those, can be especially horrific or great, depending on your point of view. Epic. Some of those carbs can go undigested and enter the colon where it starts to ferment and cause Stinky gas, she says.
Legend. Wait for it. Dairy. Finally, that brings us to constipation. It can play a role in your gas. If it's been a while since you've gone number 2, all that poop is just hanging around in your colon, which can result in some nasty side effects. There's more time for bacteria to begin to metabolize these compounds, making for a more malodorous smell that's produced, says an expert.
Yep. So if you want to minimize the damage, here's what
I
you do.
don't want to minimize
I
the
don't
damage.
either. I actually want to maximize the damage.
Let's do that instead.
While the above foods are the most common culprits of bad gas, the truth is that it often depends on your individual digestive system. Some people, for instance, have trouble digesting fructose, which isn't always absorbed well by the small intestines. So fruits are high in fructose, like apples, grapes, watermelon, can be problematic. Dairy can be another biggie if your digestive system has a hard time breaking down lactose. The sugar found in milk, you'll end up extra gassy whenever you eat or drink milk-based foods.
So once again, legend, wait for it, dairy. If you don't want your gas to take center stage during a meeting or, say, a coffee date, know that it's fine to hold it in for a little while. Just don't try to do it for hours and hours. Although that can really, if you save it up, you can really do some collateral damage.
Yes.
Intestinal gas is meant to be expelled, much like my youngest son. The younger you wait, the more likely you are to end up feeling bloated and uncomfortable. Letting gas build up for long periods could actually cause your GI tract to puncture, and no one wants that.
No, that's not good.
No.
If you feel like you're gassier than usual, take a look at your diet. Keeping track of what you eat and noticing when gas occurs can help you figure out if a certain food is causing problems. Cutting out those foods can help, but if you don't want to give them up, your doctor might recommend taking certain meds, such as Beano, before eating high-fiber foods.
If the gas is accompanied by pain, cramping, nausea, or diarrhea, talk with your doctor about seeing a gastroenterologist. A GI specialist can figure out whether you have an underlying problem. I don't.
Yeah.
I fart just fine, Ron.
My farting that's like the peak of my game right there.
You know, some people have said that I may be one of the best farters they know.
Wow.
Yeah, now I didn't receive a Sacramento Best of award for that, but I still have a few years left.
Well, you might still be in the running.
I aspire to that.
Yeah.
You know, what would that award be called? Sacramento Magazine's Best of...
Mayor of Stinktown.
Okay, Mayor of Stinktown.
Yeah.
All right, so now look, here's another question we have. We talked about, you know, your diet and such, but let's ask this question. Why are some farts silent and others squeaky?
Squeaky.
The sound of letting one rip can depend on a lot of things. Everybody farts. In fact, the average person farts about 14 times a day with an average volume of 1/2 liter of gas per day,
Wow.
says a specialist. I should charge by the gallon.
I need to convert that to some type of fuel.
Yeah.
Dang.
They call that natural gas, I think, don't they?
But there's a lot of air in farts. Each fart you release isn't exactly the same. In
Thank
fact,
goodness. They're like snowflakes.
they are like snowflakes.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, some sneak under the radar pretty subtly, while others, well, you can hear them go off in the next room.
Best kind.
Yeah. Vicky hears them from downstairs. When she gets out of bed, she
Right.
goes downstairs to have a
Yeah.
cup of coffee. I feel it's safe to fart.
Yeah.
I will. And then she says, I heard that.
Did you do it this morning? Because I think I heard it in Antelope. That's about 33 miles from here.
Yeah, I did.
So why do your farts sound different? And is there anything you can do to make a loud fart turn into a silent fart? Well, first of all, farts depend on a lot of variables, including what you eat, drink, and the movements of your bodies when gas escapes. You know, like when you see that really large person pushing the shopping cart in the grocery store and it goes like this.
As food is digested, gases, including carbon dioxide, methane, and hydrogen, build up within the intestines, and they try to find their way out.
Yeah, it's like gravity.
The intestines contract and move their contents, including gas, via contractions that move the waste through your digestive tract towards your, butt. Small gas bubbles come together into larger gas bubbles en route until it exits. And when your body lets out those gases, that is a fart.
And you know it's up to you. You can make it a good one, or you could half-ass it. Your fart sounds depend on the vibrations produced as the gas exit your canal. Despite popular belief, your fart noises have nothing to do with the flapping of your butt cheeks. The sounds of farts are very much shaped by their explosion velocity as well as the shape and size of the anal sphincter opening at the moment of passing. Man, that hurt me to say that.
Wow. Who knew there was so much science involved?
Science!
Compared to a musical instrument, the smaller the size of the exit point, the higher the pitch.
Huh.
And perhaps the more squeaky it will be.
Couldn't you just squeeze your butt cheeks together with your hands and kind of do Beethoven's Fifth?
I'm pretty sure you could.
Yeah.
And conversely, the larger the opening at the moment, the lower the sound.
Oh, okay. So now we're learning how to play our butt.
There are likely many factors that determine the size of the anus in general at the exact moment of the fart, including general resting tone of the anus. You can manipulate the sound of farts by relaxing and tightening the external anal sphincter and diaphragm to change pitch, volume, and duration of the sounds.
Do you ever, when you're laying on your side and you feel one coming, you kind of lift up your left cheek so it's...
I can't say I've done that. And if I had, I still wouldn't say I've done that.
Who knew? There are likely many factors that determine the size at the general moment of the fart. The anal sphincter tightening similar what you do if you were trying to hold in poop. This is a fun story. And since the opening would be tighter, that could lead to a squeakier, shorter fart. Strive to be your best farter. That's what I say.
And the expulsion velocity.
Okay.
Or how fast the air is exiting your body.
That's like that new thing they have in baseball now. How fast the ball comes off the bat.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the same thing. They measure that farts.
Well, they need to scientifically do that. I'm not sure, but somebody needs to pay for this this experiment. But that plays a role too. If the air is coming out faster, your fart would likely sound louder, of course.
I wonder if you could get an MBA in this.
I don't know.
Plus, if swallowed, air is triggering your fart. I've heard that.
Oh, yeah.
As is the case in the majority of farts, they tend to be louder but less smelly. If your fart is primarily driven from digestion and bacterial fermentation, it will tend to be smaller in volume and sound, but stinkier.
I know some people, when they eat, they eat like they've never eaten before, and they gasp a lot of air in. They take a lot of air in. They're going to be farting, but on the bright side, those farts apparently will be less stinky.
I'm taking air in right now. I'm optimistic.
You got to swallow it, though.
We've only got a few minutes left in this story. I'm going to try to get one out.
In most cases, whether your
Stay
fart
tuned.
is loud, soft, squeaky, or sonorous, it's really nothing to worry about. But there are some times when your farts may signal a medical issue.
I'm not having a medical issue. I'm fine.
Consider seeking medical advice from your doctor if farts are associated symptoms of fecal incontinence, frequency involuntary passage of gas, persistent abdominal discomfort, abdominal distension, or passage of blood. Yikes.
We could have edited that paragraph.
None of those sound good.
Now, let me be serious for just a moment. Your doctor may inquire about your diet, bowel movement pattern, family history, or other medical conditions and examine you to determine if you might have a medical condition that requires further evaluation or treatment for issues like IBS, ulcerative colitis, colon cancer, or other gastrointestinal conditions.
So when they're talking about family history, your doctor's going to ask you, did your mom or dad fart a lot?
And I would probably say, well, my dad said it was a dog.
Yeah.
I believed him.
My dad never did, but the dog did frequently. At least 14 times a day.
You know, it just made me think of something. We were doing cocktails in the Gallagher compound garage. And my dog likes to get up in my chair and lay behind me. So I can't sit back in the chair. So she lays right there. And that's where she wants to be with all the people. Well, the other day, she farted. Farts scare my dog. When she farts, it scares her to the point that she gets down.
Or maybe she just doesn't like the smell of them.
I think to the other dog, she's blaming me. Think about it. We blame the dogs dogs blame us.
It happens right back.
It's a vicious circle.
So typically,
Yes.
Buster farts. And they don't smell good. They smell like dog farts.
Yeah, dog food farts.
But they're very quiet. And so you don't know it until it hits you in the face. Okay.
Really.
But the other day,
You're painting a picture.
he was standing up very close to me and he let out a squeaker. And his head whipped around to see what the hell just happened. Not sure he'd heard his own fart before. He's only a puppy. He's not quite 2 years old. He may not have heard it. He saw a fart before, and it shocked him a little bit.
Now, women fart. They just deny it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because sometimes when my wife will go into the bathroom, which is in the bedroom, she thinks I'm sleeping and I'm not. And she'll let one go. And I always remark afterwards, even though she thinks I'm sleeping. Ooh, nice out.
So, you know how women, they go to the bathroom like, 4 or 5 at a time if you're out
Right.
socially. I wonder if they all stand around and fart in there together.
And they don't talk about
Yes.
It's the sisterhood of the traveling farts.
That's what's going on. That's why they all go together and so often.
All right, well, that brings us to the conclusion of the Fart Show, Part 3. We hope that you've enjoyed this, but more importantly, this is about science.
Yes.
Science.
We talked about some important stuff here.
We have.
Yeah.
In fact, you know what? Maybe what you might want to do is get yourself a pad of paper and a pen. Go back and watch the show again and make some notes.
Yeah. There will be a test.
There could be a pop quiz. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Men Are So Smart. If you'd like any more information, or if you'd like to check the sources of our stories, you'll find that in the description below, along with our website, which we hope you'll check out. It's menaresosmart.com. It's pretty cool. A lot of stuff. I added some new pictures of you on there too, as well, Ronnie.
Oh, thank you.
They're in the photo section. And also, you'll find our blogs, our social media. We're on everything at Men Are So Smart, and also our sponsors. So I'm Lou Gallagher.
I'm Corvette Ronnie.
This has been another edition of Men. Oh, there! I got one, Ronnie. That's gonna stink, but you didn't hear it. We better get out of here. Oh yeah, we got to get out of here now. Bye-bye. Bye. Oh my.
Oh,
Can you smell it?
no. I'm not trying to.